Sorry about that. Let's share the screen again. Okay, so this is the assessment plan. Are you able to see this slide?
Yes, can see.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
miss.
from the first day tonight till the end, your participation mark will be counted. Okay, then the individual assignment will be given on 19th August. And the due date will be 1st September. Okay, this is the written assignment. So from 19th itself, as soon as you get the assignment, you should be looking up the tasks what you're supposed to do. Cut down that into shorter tasks, I mean small tasks. Okay, like if you have to write an essay, you have to collect information, right? So try to do the reading part, collecting information under the given headings, and then pick the information that you need out of those and rearrange the paragraphs, organize the paragraphs, and start doing all those just as soon as you get the work. Okay, don't wait till the end of the August. Sometimes you tend to keep the work just to because you have a lot of work right now from different sides. You will be loaded with work, right? But still you have to learn to manage time and then do at least spend some time to do the assignment. Okay, do not keep it for the last minute. Then the next one will be the group assignment that is also going to be given on 19th August. So as once you get the group assignment, within the group itself, you can distribute the work. Okay, so it's not on it won't be a burden for an individual person if you distribute the work among the group. Okay, so each person must be responsible enough to do the work on time and always be in contact, discuss within the group. Okay, and check the progress and see whether you are doing the work. Before the due date, you all must complete the work. Okay, so the group coordination is very important here. Then comes the unit test. You are going to be doing it individually, right? It's going to be an online test, so please be prepared. You will not get time to look up the books. Okay, so when the lessons are taught, try to pay as the maximum attention and note it down, note the important things down on your book. Revise daily. Just after the class, you could go through the notes that you have written. And also, if you have time, just check some videos about the topic. So it's within a short period of time, like a summary, it will be explained. Okay, so rather than just reading pages and pages, it's going to be much more easy for you too. Okay. So the results of the assessments will be announced before the final exam on 16th September. And your final exam date is 19th September. Okay, so you can make a table and write down all these dates and put up the timetable so that you know how many days you have left to complete the work, right? And if you have other module subjects and other work related things coming up, you could also add those to your timetable. Okay, keep it somewhere you can see and keep updating it, so you know the duration where you're going to be a bit busier, right? So those days you have to pay more attention to complete the work on time. Otherwise, it's going to be pending and then you will be overloaded with a lot of work. Okay? So the time schedule or the timetable and adjust all these assignments within it. So it's going to be an easier way for you to manage time. Okay? And these are some of the recommended readings. You could go through those.
Miss,
Yes,
do we have to give referencing on
yes.
each task that we do?
Um, the individual writing you have to do, okay? And you will be also, are you taking any modules on study skills? No,
I don't know that.
no. Okay, so I will just try to give some briefing on how to do the APA referencing, okay? So
Yeah,
the kind of referencing that we are expecting you to do, we will guide you, okay?
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it is also good to Google it. There are several help guidelines given on APA referencing, how to do the referencing from a textbook, from online book, from journals. Okay, so just go through it. It's not that difficult. Once you understand how it is done, then it's going to be very easy. Just you need to understand it and then practice it. Okay, so do you have any question about the assessment guideline, assessment plan, planning? Anything that is not clear about it?
Yes.
Yep.
Revision. MS revision at the unit test and on a final exam.
No, we will be doing revision. Revision work will be. And just at the end of the each unit, we will be also doing practicing some of the sums. Okay. And also the tutorial itself, that's the reason why we are giving tutorials. The tutorials are actually revisions. Okay. So try to complete the tutorials. It's going to be very helpful for you. Tutorials are revision questions. After the topic, then you on Sunday you will get the tutorial. Okay, so complete it and upload that before the due date. Clear? Okay, so I want to show you what you should be ready with before the next lesson starts. Okay, now in the previous module outline, you have seen the topics, right? The units that is going to be covered. Okay, so let's see whether you have grasped it in a better way or not. Okay, so what are the days we are going to be having the class?
Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yes. What's the starting time on Thursday?
8 o'clock.
8
8
o'clock.
to 10.
Okay. You're not going to get break on that day. Okay. So remember that.
Yes.
And how are you going to be ready for the classroom before the class starts?
I may sleep, get rest,
Yes. Very good. What else?
books, calculators.
Exactly, your notebook, and don't take different books for different classes. Okay, if you are having a separate book, that is better. Okay, now that is actually that is what is happening, right? You will write on a piece of paper today, and the next class you won't know where that piece of paper is. Okay, even though you're using a file, make sure you write the name and punch and file it. Okay, those bits of papers. Otherwise, it's better to have a notebook and then note down, because you have to practice the sums. Okay, it's very important
Okay.
that you have to. Yes, what else? What else you should be doing?
Practice more.
Yeah. Now, just to get ready for the classroom. If you're hungry, will you be able to concentrate?
No.
No, right? You will not be able to concentrate.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Then
uh, you can keep a water bottle, but eat something and be ready. Okay, because it will take time to break down and release energy, even, right? So just
Yes.
have something. Don't come to class being hungry. And anything else? How about your attendance?
Very important.
What will happen? Now think, what's going to happen if you miss one class? How are you going to catch up with those? It's going to be a little bit difficult for you even, right? So try to organize
Yes.
your work, okay? Organize your work. Time management plays a major role when you are studying, because usually what we do is we just sacrifice our sleep, isn't it, to complete the work, but that is something very important, right? So give yourself some rest, give yourself enough sleep, eat, do all the exercise and everything, but make sure you do all these in a scheduled manner. Okay, so when you plan it out, it's going to be easier. So you can put up a to-do list. Do you do that? How many of you have a to-do list? Sometimes we write on the mirror so that we are able to see what are the things that you have to complete today. Do you do that? Just the very important thing that you have to do, you put it at the top, right there. So prioritize it and then write it down. Nowadays you have the phone, everything is digitalized, right? So you can
Yeah.
add everything to your planner. Reminders are there. So life is a bit easier now. Even if you forget, the phone will remind you, right? Okay, so try out all these techniques. These are different techniques that you can use. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
you can note this down. First thing is to plan. Now, where is the Okay, this is, now you have the, you know the time, the due dates and everything, how much time you are ahead, right? How much time you have for this particular assignment. And from the other modules also you're going to get the assignments. You will have family responsibilities, office work. Okay, so depending, including all those extra activities, also give time to the surprise things that's going to come. Okay, a lot of time we plan things out, but there are unplanned events that comes and fills the schedule, right? So give time to them as well. First thing is to plan a schedule or make a timetable. Okay, so that will be like monthly plan, right? Then you should set up a weekly one as well, or a daily to-do list will be better. So in the to-do list, you're going to put up the work that you have to do, the most important things at the top, and the things that you will be doing afterwards. And try to cut it as soon as you finish it. Okay, so you yourself will get motivated. You will get the self reward, like good feeling will be there, right? Because you have achieved an accomplishment. Okay, what's the next thing that you should do?
Classroom rules.
Yeah, so you have to follow classroom rules, each and every one. Okay, it's your responsibility. Yes, and if you have time, what are the things you should be doing to in order to practice and revise? How can you practice and revise?
Read books. The YouTube.
Yes, you can make use of your textbooks. Now you know the
YouTube videos.
topics. Yes,
Research.
watch the videos. Okay,
Videos. Yeah.
there are very attractive, funny videos. I mean, like things that will be, the explanation will be easy to understand. Okay, so textbooks, watch videos, then practice, right? There are blogs and like Khan's Academy, the explanations are explained. Even there are quizzes, worksheets with answers, right? You can even just type it in the Google. Uh, for example, let's say we are doing the topic percentage. So you can just say word problems on percentage, worksheets with answers. Okay, so it will come, the number of things will come. So you can decide which one you're going to do today and just try it and check the answers with it. Okay, so it's very easy now. Even if you don't know anything, if you're not clear with, if you have doubt about it, there are a number of ways you can clear it up. And even the words, the technical terms that are used, okay, just Google it. The dictionaries are there, business dictionaries, Merriam dictionaries, right? So all those resources are available. So make use of them and note down on your book. The research work that you do, you should write it down on the same book. Okay, you can use the back side of the book to do those. So you know that everything will be in on your math book, right? Okay. These are important things you could do. It's going to be a little bit difficult to start, but once you start, you will be find it easier. That you will find your life is going a little bit easier because you have a plan. Okay. Now, most of the time we put up a to-do list and we don't follow it. and we see it even maybe tomorrow or 2 days after, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's that's the reality. But try
Yes.
to
Yeah.
try to look up it and then follow it. Okay. Which topic do you think will be the most difficult from this unit outline?
First topic.
First topic. This one.
Mm.
Unit 1.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you heard of these terms? Axioms, prepositions.
No.
Never heard of it. Deductive. Problem solving you would have heard of, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what you can do is tonight or just before the next lesson, you could look up the meaning of these words. Axioms, prepositions, postulates, quantifiers, converse, inverse. Look up the meaning of those words. And at the back of your book, you can write it down. Okay? You can make use of your phone, your laptops. That will help you. Actually, these building blocks of mathematics are the theories, the theorems, the rules. Okay, so in other words, those are the things. But a specific name is given because there are slight differences between them. Almost all of these are propositions, postulate, quantifier. These are all very similar to axioms. Okay, but there are some
Please,
difficulties. Yeah, I mean differences. Yes, what is it?
can you repeat again the words?
These words. Am I sharing?
Yes.
Not.
Better.
It's better.
I am not sharing the screen, right? I thought I was
No.
sharing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please tell me next time. Have you used Zoom before?
Yes.
No.
Are you all familiar with this? This is the first time
No.
I'm trying
It is very
Zoom.
easy.
Yeah, I'm much more with the Meet.
First time.
Yeah,
Most of us too.
this is my first time with Zoom, so we should try and get more familiar with this. Okay, so these are the terms. Axioms, prepositions,
So,
postulates, quantifiers. Theorem you would have heard of, right? Pythagoras theorem we have studied long time ago. Proof-in is what is
Proof of
mathematics
course.
about, right? The laws and proving whether it is true or not. So mathematical ideas, principles, and the ideas are developed by some mathematician and the other people, and they also will try to prove it is the truth, right? It is true. the rules that they have made or the principles that they have found out are true. And years after, someone else, another mathematician, might do some more studies about it and might find out that that is not the truth. There's something else happening here. Okay, or that this
Theories.
yeah, the later on the mathematician might say that this is the real truth. Okay, so it goes both ways. So the proven part is sort of like giving support to what the theorists have done, right?
Yeah.
Is the text by Workshop. Have you heard of Workshop? Workhoff? He is an American
No. No.
mathematician. Okay?
No.
He is an
It's fun.
American mathematician, George David
American.
Workhoff. George David Workhoff. You can find some background information about him. George David Workhoff. He did a lot of work from 1884 to 1944. And there was a famous theorem about called the ergodic theorem, and he was the one who came up with the dynamic system, the physics part. Even in physics, a lot of mathematical calculations are there, right? Dynamics, physics, under physics. Those dynamic system was, I think, introduced by him. Okay, he did a lot of work under that. And most of the things that was proposed by him was the statistic properties.
Mm.
The statistical properties of mathematics. Okay, so, and it was expressed through behaviors of time.
Quantifiers.
Note it down. Have you
Done.
have you ever read anything about the history of mathematics? About the pyramids, Egyptians, Greeks, mathematics, Greek and Egyptians, even some Arabians, they have done some work related to math long time back.
Algebra is
Algebra came from the Arabic part,
deep.
right?
Arabics.
Al-Jabr wal Muqabala, right? That was the real book
Yes.
about algebra.
Algebra. Yeah.
Yeah. Even the Pythagoras theorem was found 4,000 years ago. So it's really interesting to learn about the history. Now, in every topic, just search the history of that topic. It's going to be a bit interesting for the kids to know about them as well. Okay? When you're teaching your kids, they would also love to know about it. Okay, have you noted down? Shall I move on?
Yes.
Okay, so from this, what are the number systems that you are familiar with?
Positive, negative.
Positive, negative numbers,
Integers.
integers you're familiar with.
E even prime
Odd.
numbers.
Numbers.
What about
Even odd numbers.
even and odd numbers?
Odd
Yes.
numbers.
There are number of different numbers, isn't it? It's not just the counting
Yes.
numbers 1, 2, 3. Real numbers,
Greek.
natural numbers, whole numbers, negative numbers, positive numbers,
Yeah,
Positive,
irrational,
cubic.
negative.
yeah, square numbers, cube numbers, rational, irrational.
All numbers are natural.
All numbers are natural. Are they real numbers? Real numbers and natural numbers are
Yes, of
also
course.
different. There are something called
Yes.
Imaginary.
real numbers, natural numbers, whole numbers. So when we do this
Mixed
topic,
imaginary number.
imaginary numbers.
Yes.
So when we do this topic, you will be able to differentiate the
Is
differences.
there any artificial number?
No, not yet, but there are imaginary numbers. Okay, then what about the interest, simple interest and compound interest? Are you familiar with that? There's a
Yes,
formula.
but now forget.
Formulas
Simple interest and
will be, yeah, formulas will be used in these sections, okay, where the mass, where the calculation of the areas, lengths,
Yes.
ratios, percentage, then the money meter, right? The simple, like percentage increase, decrease, simple interest, compound interest. Some of the formulas will be there, which you have to by heart. Okay, so again, you can put them up and paste it somewhere, maybe near your bed or in the toilet, somewhere you spend more time looking at it. Okay, so it's going to be easy for you to remember it. Okay, so it's good to be familiar with these terms. How many of you like algebra? Is it a difficult part?
No.
No.
Miss Mia, Hadanen teaches.
That is the reason why I am asking you to look up the YouTube videos, look up the internet, read the blogs, and also there will be slide shares. Okay, do you know slide shares? The slides or the presentations done by other people. Okay, it will be there. Just on the Google, you can write down percentage slide share. So different presentations about percentage will come up. So you can just go through it and see which one you like most and have a look at it. Okay, so note down these things. Did you note down the mathematic videos? Those are very interesting ones.
I had seen 2 videos now, mathematics.
Mathematics, yeah. Interesting ones, right?
Yeah, it's very, very clear. It's
Yeah,
understand so.
very clear explanation is given by him. Okay, so the more you see it, the more you read it, the more you drink it, the more you eat it, you'll get familiar with it, right? So this whole
Yeah.
4 weeks, you will be sleeping with maths, okay? You'll be wearing math, you'll be speaking math, you'll be eating, drinking, everything to do with math. Okay, so the algebra is actually integrated to every part of mathematics, isn't it?
Yes.
Equations and the unknown, like all the formulas are derived from algebra, right? So there will not be any part which is not related to this. So the basic foundations are like the technical terms that were explained, the rules and the principles, all these are integrated. Even algebra, there are several rules and principles, right, that follows. Any other terms that you are not familiar with?
Measurement and probability.
Probability, yeah. Note down if there's any part that you think you should be giving more time with. So before a hand,
Measurement is here is so many formulas.
yes.
It's far a unit and naga unit of testing.
Just one unit test you will be getting, okay? It's not from every topic, but you will be getting one unit test. Maybe from here and there. But before doing that, we will just try
The
and do that.
Miss, the
Yeah.
textbooks will include all the definitions for these terms, right?
Rather than the definitions, now under this basic calculations, it's not the definitions that are important here, the calculation part, okay? In this module, the calculation part will be more important. In the first unit, it's just to give a brief idea of mathematics. Those are given, okay? But like mean, mode, and range, when you see those terms, you should know what they are talking about, isn't it? Unless you know the meaning of the words, you will not be able to apply it. Now, you might be asked to find the mean of your test results. What does that mean? Let's say I am giving you 5 unit tests out of 10, okay? And you were asked to find the mean value, and that is going to be the mark taken to your final mark. So what am I talking?
Calculating the average.
Very good. Okay, mean is same as average. So unless you know the meaning of mean, you will not be able to do it, isn't it? You just have to add up all the marks that you have got from the quizzes or the unit tests, and that total you have to divide by 5, because I am giving you 5 tests, right? In this example, okay, not in real. I'm giving you 5 tests, and the marks that you have scored, you have to add it and then divide by 5, because you are doing 5 tests, right? So that will be the average or the mean mark that is going to be taken to the final. Okay, so it is important that you know these terms as well, but no need to by heart and learn it, but be familiar with that. Just understand what the meaning of that is. Okay, now for example, parallelogram and trapezium. When you see a parallelogram, you should know why it is called a parallelogram. Why is it different from trapezium? Though they both are quadrilaterals, they both have some differences. isn't it? That is the reason why one is called the trapezium, the other one is called the parallelogram. Okay? And, yeah, and the formula that is used to find the area is also different, right? So that understanding you should know, you should have. Okay. Similarly, parallel and perpendicular. These are all lines, line, parallel, perpendicular, isn't it? These are lines, but why is it called perpendicular? Can you remember this term? When you draw graphs and
90 degrees.
yeah, something to do with 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
Can you remember
Means
how
that is
you
a graph work, right?
how you draw graphs? Can you remember the x-axis and the y-axis?
Like an L.
When you draw the graph, there are two axes, a horizontal one and a vertical line, right?
Yeah.
Y-axis and I.
And also when you construct the angles, you draw line measuring the what is that called? Divider. You measure the line, the distance from the ruler, and then you draw the given length of line, and you use the compass to bisect the line. What's the meaning of bisecting?
Y means two.
Dividing, yes. The horizontal line that you have drawn, you will be bisecting it, right? You have to divide it into two equal halves, but without measuring and without using a ruler, how are you going to do it? Just by using a compass.
Compass.
Means those
When you,
works I did in 1995.
oh, so you have to open those files from your brain. See whether,
Yes.
see in which folder it is stored and try to retrieve them in somewhere, some part of the brain it's going to be there, isn't it? Okay, so
Yes, of course.
with the with the what's it called? Compass. With the compass, when you draw the lines, the arcs, you have to draw two arcs. Yeah,
I think
two
I have
arcs
done
and
those
then
works in
divide
1995.
it.
ಆಜಕಾಗ
Okay.
ಹೋದಿ ಫೈದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು ಯಾರು
Yeah, so you should be reading and practicing, okay? Be more familiar with these terms. What about the different types of angles? Acute, obtuse, reflex. Some words seems
Acute is
a bit.
smaller than 90 degrees.
Yes, exactly.
I remember some.
Right angle means 90 degrees.
90 degrees, yes.
Acute means less than 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
Obtuse means more than 90 degrees.
Okay.
Means
Yes, that is correct. So obtuse will be less than 180, more than 90, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
when you
yes.
see the angle, you will be able to name it if you're familiar with them. So just go through all these. Okay. Then comes the accounting part. Is there anyone who did accounting?
No.
I didn't even study accounting.
So from this
I also
module,
didn't, but I'm working in account department means
you will be familiar with these terms, right? Okay. So let's hope by the end of this module, you are going to be very familiar with these terms. Okay, those who have not heard of this.
Miss, is there any break tonight? 10 to 11?
You are getting break from 8 to 9, isn't it?
Yes. Break निमित्ते.
Yeah,
Yeah.
आ दिवस मेरे first night हुई है फायर एकदम.
Okay, so and this topic about the data, okay, treatment of data. All these are related to statistics. Is there anyone who is in the statistical department? Working in statistic section? Anything to do with statistics?
We are not working the statistic department, but we are making the graph.
So you are using it. Okay, so
Yeah, in office.
yeah. So you will be able to relate what you are doing and these terms, right? What kind
Yeah.
of tests are done just to make sure that the data that you have collected is valid enough or not.
Outbreak disease. What are the patients?
Yeah. Nowadays, during this COVID season,
Like,
the epidemiologists are doing so much of statistical work, right?
yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
see how important this is. Not even in that field, even in your business, right? If you are
Yeah.
doing a business, you should have a predictable,
Treatment.
yeah, something to predict how your business is going, isn't it? Whether to continue it or whether to stop it. If the business,
Statistical report.
if the graph is going in a better, if the curve is not flattened, isn't it? Now we know how the curves are.
Shemidi avoid this.
Yes, okay. So all these, let's hope we will be able to cover. Okay. Okay, let's move to this one. Okay, so why do you think that it is important to know these terms which you have not heard of?
To become more aware,
What do you
to get
think?
a good understanding of what you are saying.
Now, we have been studying mathematics for a number of years, right? We have studied. But some of you are definitely not have heard of these terms. What do you think the problem is? Is it a problem? But these are the building blocks of mathematics. How come we never heard of it? But we have studied mathematics. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? We have been studying mathematics, but we have not known even the building blocks of mathematics, the basics of mathematics. Isn't it? Maybe we just did what the teacher said. Most of the time, that's what has happened before, right? When the teacher gives a question, we will answer it. Very few students would have thought of finding out more about it. How that has happened, how this has happened, even to give a thought of it. And maybe that's the reason why most of the students are not able to decide which career they are going to go. They are going to choose, right? Because they haven't properly opened their mind to these different areas. Now, when you do this topic, you will know the scope of mathematics. Okay, to how much, like how much divergent this field is, the mathematics field is. There are a number of job opportunities related to math. Okay, but most of the students also do had maths. They try to avoid maths. So there is something that we should be doing to change that attitude. Now tell me, what do you think, how do you feel about mathematics? What do you think would have happened to create such an attitude according to your experience? Yes? Yeah? Now think of the days when you were studying mathematics. Did you like the subject or not? At least ask that question.
No, very interested in mathematics.
Some of you will say yes, some of
I
you will
liked it until grade 10. The equations came.
and after that,
I didn't understand anything.
the understanding part, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We just follow the step-by-step procedure that was taught by the teacher. We don't actually, there's no connection between the brain and our hand, isn't it? We don't feel what we are
Actually,
doing. Yeah.
actually, we don't know the apply the what are the terms, what are the studies in her life and the office works. We don't know how to apply that in mathematics. That is the
Exactly. We are not,
That's because we don't know how it works.
and we don't
yeah.
even know even if we are using it, we don't know, we doesn't know that, I mean, we have no idea that we are using it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are not aware of it, though we are using it. Okay, so the first thing is to have a positive attitude towards it, right? Even now, if you have, from that time, from 1995, if you have had a negative attitude to maths, it's time to change it. Just try to change it and see, think for yourself, okay? Just believe in yourself, and then let's give a positive reinforcement and encouragement to yourself to do better this time. Okay, so that
Miss අලෝන් පුනේ වර ඉන්ට්‍රස්ටින් මෙස් එකම එයා දෝස්සේ මතෙන් ජේනේ අදුන් වෙච්චි හඳාන් කරෙන් ජේනේ ඒවා කරවුන් පුනේ.
yeah. No, I'm just saying that if you have had a bad experience with math, okay, that it's not everyone, isn't it? Everyone will not have liked it, but if you have had a negative attitude, then you should try to change it now, okay? Because if you have a negative attitude and if you try to learn something, it's going to be very difficult, okay? So at least try to look up the interesting activities and the videos, and then get yourself motivated, okay? So that it's going to give a positive boost to your thinking as well. Now, if you are aware of the principles and the logical part of mathematics, it's going to benefit you in future when you when you make decisions, when you have to do the problem solving situations when it arises. You will be able to apply your logical thinking. Don't you think so?
Miss, Sarunbuni me area more to Kurani to Sunday.
Okay.
Anbuni Sunday model the reference Hunnar Toiva the Sunday.
Reference da.
Yes, yes, me unit to get.
Unit outline. Okay, I hope so. But at least the tutorials on campus. Tutorial work on Sunday. Okay, after the topic is taken. Now today we are just discussing about the module outline, right? This is just an introductory session. Okay, so once we start the
Okay.
topic, after taking the topic, once you understand it and once you do it, then only you will be able to answer the questions, isn't it? But what I'm asking is to be familiar with the terms before I take the lesson. Just go through those terms so that it's going to be easier for you to understand when we do the topic. Okay? Thank for Hurima. Goda Nagagan of Asehava.
Yes, miss.
අනෙක්කමකි මිස් මාදමා මේ ස්ටඩි ගයිඩ හොරි හච්චිසෙන් අප්ලෝඩ් වානගේ තො මොඩල්ල කොදින්න ගොලන් හොරි හොරි ඩොක්කමෙන්ට් වෙත ඉන්ෂාල්ලා අප්ලෝඩ් වානේ ම කොදින්ගේ කම්බඩොන්තක ඉන්ෂාල්ලා හිසාබන් හලු ලිබෙනකම උමීද් කරේ දැන් හොරිය.
So the topics details will be also there.
Yes, of course, miss. Thank you.
Any other questions that you want to clarify?
Yes.
Yes.
Tutorial deadline ki
Tutorials.
Tutorial ಗೆ ಡೆಡ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಬದುವೆಸ್ ಇನ್ನಾನೆ ಮೂಡ್ಲ ಲಮುನ್ ಅನೆ ಮಿಕೊಳಂ ಬೊನೆಫ ಮಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಬೊನಾನೆ ಮಿಸಾಲಕ ಮಾದಮ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರಿ ಟ್ಯುಟೋರಿಯಲ್ ಗೆ ಡ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟ್ ವಸ್ ಬೊನೆದೇನ ಕೋದಿನ ತೇರಂ ಕೋದಿನ ವರಕ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯಾವಾನೆ ಆ ತಿಮಣ್ಣ ಮಿಹಾರ್ ಮಿಯತಿ ಮಿ ಟ್ಯುಟೋರಿಯಲ್ ಹದಂ 4 ದಿವಸಕ then enough days like 5 no 6 or days then inshallah.
Clear?
yes.
Yeah, because Sundays you will be getting the tutorials, right? So before the next Sunday, you will be free from that. Any other thing that you want to clarify? So what are the rules that we are going to set in this classroom? If you want to ask question, what do you do?
Raise your hand.
Yes. Okay. You have to raise your hand. Then any other thing?
Respect.
Yes, you have to respect each other's.
Listen carefully.
Very good. Listen carefully. If you don't understand, what are you going to do?
Ask.
Ask and clarify.
Question.
Now, in between, I'm just stopping and asking whether you have understood, right? Before moving on to the other topics. Okay, so if you do not understand, just stop me and ask. What else? And in the group of group work. Now, do you want me to make the group, or are you all going to get into the
busy
group?
busy data. Ei bappia no nilla fori.
Yeah.
Amassus. No no darba. Bappia nudilla emme etchebes. Assus mati ekane bappia mi
Mute
jessi.
Mic is on, I think.
Ai. Sorry.
Miss Kurupetno Ravalwanaka Amna Kabu Kurani.
So, who is going to make?
Miss, you can
Miss
make
I
group. It
can
will be
make.
better.
I can
Yeah.
make, right?
I can miss you can make a group.
Okay, so I will make
And
the
each
group.
group make a coordinator. It will be good.
Am I going to make the coordinator, or are you going to talk and make the coordinator?
Group.
Group, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, we will make a
Group,
coordinator
yeah.
then.
we can discuss and make a
I,
coordinator.
yes. After discussing, the group can decide, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, rather than
I think
me
that is
doing all the work. Okay.
Yeah, in a minute.
So, Miss, when are you going to make a group?
group make kurani group assignment de rega inshallah.
So I will tell the group students when the assignment detail is explained. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Clear.
Group assignment detail.
Okay, means we will try.
Yeah. You have to try from your part. Now, it's better to check and see whether the mics are mute. Okay.
Max,
If
mute.
you are
Yes.
not discussing within the classroom. Yeah, otherwise
Of classroom.
otherwise it may distract, it may create some distraction, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I hope that all these rules that we are setting will be followed. Okay. Any other thing that we haven't discussed about?
Yes.
Yes.
මේ සෙසන මිස් වෙච්ච දැන් ඇති හොද කියන හදන්නේ මිසාලක මේ කරන්ට් මිසා COVID-19 නාගුලිකෙන් ඉතින් මිස් වෙච්චිය සරේක සලගුණ වෙන දින අලගුණ මේ රටක දියතනු එරටික පොසිටිව් කේස් එකෙනගේ කරන්ට් ඉනවාන් ජන වගේ වගුත්තක එම ඒ වදුන හොටන කාර්යයක් ගම්ම වසීලෙත් පුලාස ජොයින් කරවේ කරයි
It's from college side, they will decide and let you know. You have to let them know that you are in such a condition. Okay. If something happens to you, otherwise the coordinators or the college side will not know about it, right? Okay, so you have to let them know about it, and you will be guided what procedures you have to take from them. Okay. And what else? Anything?
How are we going to reach you? I mean, Viber or text message or something like that? Or we have to call you for some help?
We are in a Viber group, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all are. So from that group, I think I will be also available. Okay. We all are in a Viber group, right? So that won't be a problem. Okay, so next class we have when the assignment details are discussed, we will be dividing the groups, and you will get to know what you should be trying from there, right? So if you do not have any other question, can I just go through the first unit's few sections?
Yeah, it's better.
It's okay.
Okay, the first unit that we are going to be doing is, what's the first unit? Now you have written down, we have 4 topics, isn't it? Yeah. First topic is about?
Nature and scope of mathematics.
Nature and scope of mathematics.
To have an understanding of mathematics, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
understanding of mathematics.
Yeah, to know the background of mathematics, the history of mathematics. Okay, so the nature. Nature means how is mathematics behaving or acting like, isn't it? What kind of a subject it is. Like if you're talking about the child, the nature of the child, what are the characteristics of the child, isn't it? How does the child behave? How does the child react? So similar thing about mathematics. Okay, so we are going to look at mathematics in a different perspective from which we haven't looked at before. Okay. So the meanings of the building blocks, axioms, proposition, postulates, and quantifiers. Now, why do you think what should be the objectives? Like, what should I expect from you after doing this topic? Once you learn these topics, what are the things that you should know? What are the things that you should be focusing on? This is an actually important thing, okay? Just before
We would be more aware in the daily life.
About mathematics, right? And also, do you think you will have a broader understanding of mathematics? Something new must be learned, isn't it? Okay, so the objectives of a lesson. Now you will see this term objective written even before doing a presentation. We used to say the objective or the aim of this presentation is this, isn't it? What's the meaning of it? Why are there learning objectives or the unit objectives given? You will see that even in the textbooks.
To set goals.
Just at the beginning, yes. So what
are the achievements?
Yeah, after you read it, these are the things that you should achieve, isn't it? After watching a movie, you should know what has happened in the movie, what kind of characters were in the movie. At least those must be understood, isn't it? Otherwise, there's no point in watching it. So similarly, after you go through these slides, after we've discussed the topic, these are the things that you should know about it. Okay, these are the changes that you should be bringing in yourself, promoting in yourself, bringing in your thinking. Okay, I mean the kind of thinking that you should be doing inside the brain. So the first objective is to understand the understanding the few building blocks of mathematics. These are just few building blocks. Okay, the terms that we have been talking about. Understand about these terms, how they are related to maths. What are these actually relating mathematics to? Okay. Then to be able to understand the nature and the scope of mathematics in terms of truth and logic. So truth and logic, what does these two terms means? Logically, sometimes we used to say, logically that is also correct, but when we relate to facts, it may not be correct. But logically, that is also okay. What's the difference between that?
Expectation and reality.
Could be related to that.
Maybe
Logical.
probability of happening.
Logical means actually what we say, what we believe in common sense.
According to common sense, that is also correct, right? I think that's a better one. Any other?
In other way, we can say that the probability of happening it.
When it comes to probability, there is a chance of happening it or not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's where truth comes in.
Rather than probability, this will go more for common sense. Okay, because probability is the chances. Yeah.
Okay.
Logical thinking. So what do you understand from that logical thinking? Have you ever thought of logical thinking? Creative thinking you have heard of, right? Have you? Creative thinking, creative thinking. So what about logical thinking?
That allows us to communicate in a clear, transparent way.
Logical thinking.
අනන්‍ය මොනවාන මේ සොයාව ඇති ගබූල් කොරා ගොයින් යස්තෝ basically ඇති ගබූල් කොරා ගොයින්
Perspective. According to the reasoning, but if you are believing it in such a way, there should be a reason to explain it even, right? Expected one, but that should be sensible under some of the criteria. Just let's think of an example of it. Some people are with logical minds. What does that mean? Logical minds.
They think about the advantages and disadvantages.
So that reasoning part is there. Okay, with clear reasoning, the belief is expressed. So logically, if you are saying something logically, it must be given based on some reason, right? And those reasons must be with sound ideas, not just but it should be a sound idea. Okay. अपना है बारुदांग होरी चकशे ने reason मांझे हैं. Yes. Any other perspective? So logical thinking or logical perspective should be coming with the reason. Okay, the reasoning part must be there so that you can also prove the others why you are saying that, isn't it? That should make some logic. It's like sensible vanjehene bunahe.
Logical means the reasons of sounds and idea.
Then ultimately, right time guys should be a right decision also.
Yeah. To take
Make on right time and right decision.
Yes, so these are, we have talked about two important objectives, okay? What about the third one? To create awareness
about mathematical
mathematical
theories
theorem and
theorem.
its invariance. Are we not aware about this? Were you aware of these before? Mathematical theorems, there are a number of sets of rules and theorems,
Yes.
right? But have you ever...
Pythagoras theorem only.
But even, have you thought of that? Have you thought of going, just going through those theorems and knowing how that theorem was formed?
No.
How did pi theorem came up with that rule or the principle or the at least the idea? No, right? Okay, so the purpose of learning
We
these is
didn't really have the interest
to know about it
before. Yeah. But now it seems interesting.
Yeah, but now you have at least thought of checking what did Pythagoras did at that time, right? Okay, so first one is to understand, then to understand the nature and the scope of mathematics. Okay, what's the term? This term scope means. What do you think? Scope. Scope of mathematics. That the scope of mathematics is discussed or it should be understood in terms of truth and logic. That's what is said here. Based on the facts and based on the reasoning and the logic or the sensible one that we were talking about, okay? It should make sense and based on the facts relating to the theorems and the principles. The scope of mathematics must be understood. What is this scope?
I think that is what they understand in physics or like that.
Scope. It's not a physics, I mean under physics, but general meaning.
Looking through.
It's the range.
Something that shows the
Range.
range is also showing the how big it is or
Breadth.
how small it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that source of sense it is actually explaining. Now let's think of an example. When you hear the term range, what comes to your mind?
It has an end and a beginning.
There is a boundary, isn't it? A boundary or some space where this acts on. Like maybe the magnetic field, the area or the space where it acts, isn't it? So similarly, the scope of mathematics, where mathematics is connected to, if mathematics is in the middle, it should have a boundary around it, right? Where it can be spread into. Let's say mathematics is something that
And
spreads very fast, like a gas, okay?
yeah, how much we are investigating something.
So the scope of mathematics, it's relating to how wide it could be, how wide it's spread, right? Now, let's look at think of the careers related to mathematics. Can we just name some mathematics related fields? I can give you one. What about pilot? To become a pilot, is mathematics important?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
must.
very much true.
The bearings, the angles, all these mathematical parts are
Like
important, right?
architecture,
Yes,
we need
architect.
mathematics.
Mathematics is
Civil
necessary.
engineers.
Civil engineering, yes.
Investment, investing
Business
market,
entrepreneur.
Market,
trade,
sales, yes. How about a salesperson?
accountant,
Yeah.
Yes, accountant,
economist,
economist,
and a financial planner,
Auditor.
yes.
operation researcher,
Logistic, all those. Now we have mentioned number of things, but still there are some more, right?
there are many more.
Yes.
How about teaching?
Of course,
What else?
Compared to it will be small, I think.
What about in the field of construction? Now, architect and
Yes,
construction
very
also
much
are
needed.
related.
Needed, needed.
is lab technician, doctors, nurse.
Even the health related. Now we know that in the field of health, that's the new trend that is generated, right? The statistical informations play a major role in health field as well. It's not only in the tourism sector or business sector that is important, right?
Yeah.
it's a daily
Yeah,
life.
even in the daily life.
Daily life.
What else are the careers available careers? What about and somebody who is related to computing, computer science? Will they need mathematics?
Yes.
What are the fields related to it?
Yes, needed.
Program software, like
Binary coding.
software
Collecting
engineering.
data,
Yeah.
Binary data.
Mhm. Then banking, in the field of bank.
Very.
Bank no need.
That is not needed.
Yeah,
They just
because
deal with.
corruption needed
Very
there.
important for the police also for the crime records.
Yeah. Yes,
No,
you
no,
have to do
police no need.
lot of
Almost
statistics.
everywhere.
Lot of statistics need to be done, isn't it?
We
Yeah.
see even chef also
Chef, yes,
in kitchen.
exactly. Yes, in the kitchen. We can't make a
The,
cake.
they need
We
to
can't,
Almost,
count the
yeah, almost
ingredients.
every area.
yeah, we can't bake a cake without measuring it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Those ingredients.
The proper ratio. Ratio is related to kitchen. Don't you know that?
Yes.
Most of the ratio and proportion occurs in the kitchen. Okay?
Even that
Tailors,
fishermen,
tailors.
Yeah.
tailors, everywhere.
Tailors
For
will
the
need to fit things to take in the measurements, right?
Yeah, measurements.
for the politics part is also it's very important for them also.
Scientists, let's think of the scientists. Theorists,
Yeah, it's very important.
not only in the engineering section, right? When we take engineering itself, let's think of the engineering field. How many types of engineering are there?
There are many.
Let's name. Mechanical engineering is one.
Yeah, civil
Software.
engineering,
Biomedical
biomedical
engineering.
engineering, then
Chemical engineering,
Software engineering.
electrical,
software,
software engineering.
Chemical engineering, mechanical engineering.
yes. Any other engineering? Nautical engineering, civil
Electrical
engineering,
engineering.
civil engineering. It's not just the aircraft, even there are sea vessels, right? And dealing with the machines and things.
Mechanical.
Yeah, chemical
Aircraft
engineering
engineering.
deals with the medicine, the preparation of tablets and stuff, right? Also making bombs, chemical bombs, and all these are
And for the chemical engineering means
chemical engineering. We talked about it. Yeah, so
Marine engineering.
marine engineering, yes. Marine science, like computer science, marine science.
Biological science.
So we have talked about so much of fields that are related to mathematics, isn't it?
Mathematics.
Yeah,
Yeah, everywhere.
all those fields require mathematics. That means they are integrated with mathematics, isn't it? Some
Integrated.
type of mathematics is involved in it. Even if a person is constructing a model, he or she is also using mathematics, right?
We
Mixing
want to
something.
know where is the important mathematics to be applied at that department, that workers.
Okay, so what are we talking about here? This is the scope of mathematics. It is so vast, so big. Okay, now can you understand the scope? Before, mathematics
Yeah,
was just within the, maybe when you draw a circle on the page, maybe that was the size of maths for you. Was it?
Only in the classroom.
Only in the classroom. But do you see it now outside the box, outside the classroom?
Yes.
Almost like out of the world.
In everything.
Yes, even astronomy, right? Astronomy and numerology, all these deals with maths. What is
Even
astronomy?
archaeology.
Yeah, they do a lot of calculations, even though they are dealing with the past related things, right?
Yeah.
Even
Time.
dentist,
Dentists are
they are
also
measuring.
doctors.
Even a maths teacher needs maths very much. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the scope, okay? How far that it has spread, or like how much affected it is to, because of mathematics, how it has interrelated to other fields. Okay, so you should be aware of
Influence,
all these, yeah, mathematical influences that
influence,
in
yeah.
every field, right? The scope of it
Because
is
of that,
too
we
good.
are not getting actual result. We are not accurate of doing this mathematics
So
correctly.
yeah, so that is one good thing about mathematics. It says that it is not just about doing something.
Numbers.
Yeah, the numbers, and it's kind of doing an investigation. Okay, it's a trial versus investigation thing where you have to do it repeatedly until
Make
uh,
correct.
until a good answer is there, until a good result comes. Okay, so that's how the theories or the theorems are formed, right? They have brought up an idea and they have to deal with it to see whether that is happening or not. So until that comes to a reality or as a fact, they will be doing number of experiments with it so that they can finally say, yes, this is the truth. This is, every time you do this, this is going to happen. Isn't it? That is how the rules are formed. Now let's take square number. How did square numbers become square numbers? What is a square number, for example?
Times that number.
Yeah. When you multiply that number itself, the answer you get is a square number. For example, 2. 2 square will be equal to 2 multiplied by 2, right? 3
4,
square will be,
2 multiplied by 2.
3 square will be how much?
9,
9,
Or 6?
3, 9.
Is it 6 or 9?
9,
Oh, 6.
Why,
9,
9.
9.
why not
Because
6?
3 times 3.
3 into 3, 9.
Why cannot it be
3
It's
6?
3.
3.
Now there will be people who are arguing, okay? Yes, why not if it is 6?
Because it's double in 3.
Yes, it is not multiplying with the power, right?
Yeah,
It is
it's
double
double
in
in the
3.
power.
3 square means 3 is multiplied by 3. Okay?
3.
So the
3,
answer
yeah,
that you get
will
must
be
be
9.
9.
9.
9.
So 9 is a square number. So every time you square the number, so now what will the theorists do or the mathematicians will do? Instead of writing the number, excuse me, they will use a letter, okay? Let the number be A or B O, and usually to represent a term, they use N, nth term, like in the series, right? Series and patterns, there are the geometrical series and arithmetic series. Can you remember them? Nth term will be there for the unknown term. Okay, like the 10th term is this much, or the first term, second term, third. We are just referring to the numbers in the order. The first number is 1 in the count in numbers, or in the 2 times, the first term is 2, the second term is 4 in multiples of 2. What is the third term? What will be the third term in multiplication of 2? First term is 2, second term is 4. What will be the third? Third term will be
6.
Okay, so have you understood the nth, first, second, third, like that? Let's say the next one is the nth term. What is this nth term talking about? Next to 3 will be
That's
the
the formula.
fourth term, right? Okay, so to the position, actually this term n is used. Okay, so even in the square number, let that number be n. Okay, so the theorists have brought, these ideas are formed like this. Let the number be n, and on top of the n, you are writing the square. Can all of you write letter n and write the square on top of it? A small number 2, write letter n, simple n, and on top of that, you are going to write number 2. What have you written? Yes? Yeah? No, I'm just sharing the learning objectives.
Okay.
Yes, can you show it in whiteboard, sharing whiteboard? You can have that.
Yes, we have to do that also. We should be
Yeah, that will be,
getting
I think,
familiar.
much easier.
Yeah, that was one thing that I have planned to do, but I forgot. Now let's see where the whiteboard is.
Don't know, this is my first time.
Somebody who is familiar with this.
You can use the
This hand is there.
paint.
Now, while sharing, who is most familiar one dealing with the
I am searching that.
Zoom?
I think you can open the paint app in the computer.
But instead of that, if it is in the Zoom, we should use it, isn't it? Who have used Zoom before? I have heard this is having the whiteboard.
This next class you have to learn that.
Next class. If I haven't learned,
Just
then
only 15 minutes left.
I will use whiteboard. I will use paint if I can't find it. Plan B will be ready always, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you see my whiteboard?
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, so what I said was to write letter N and square. Okay, so the letter N is representing the number, right? So let N be, let's say, 4. If N is 4, what will be N square? What will be n
16.
square? This is going to be equal
16.
to
4
into
times 4.
4 times 4
4
is
times 4.
16, right?
16.
16.
If n is
Yes.
3, n square
3
will
times
be
3, 9.
9.
9.
9.
Okay. Okay, so have you understood this one?
Yes.
Yes.
So every time, okay, every time that let's say the mathematician, okay, the mathematician is trying to find out if n is replaced with something, and we are experimenting this, okay, we are checking to see whether the theory or the principle is correct. So every time it is squared, the number that you get is
Number.
square number. So these numbers that we are getting, when we multiply it, like 4 times 4, isn't it? 3
3
times
times
3,
3.
same number, right?
3 times
When we multiply the same number twice, the number that you get are called square number. Okay? These are called square number. What a nice handwriting. Okay? So these numbers are square numbers, right? Okay, so
Yes.
the other way around also it should follow. So what will the theorist do then? We'll check the square root of 16. Square root of 16 must be?
4.
4.
Square root of 9 must be?
3.
3.
3. Okay, so you should be able to bring it back. Here you're double in it, here you're half in it. Okay? So this is true, isn't it? To this idea that we came up with, now we are just pretending, okay, that we are mathematicians. So to the idea that we came up with, we have tested several numbers and saw the pattern. And this pattern have proved that every time when we do it, it's going to be a square number, right? The number that we get will be a square number. And when we made the square root of it, it's going to bring the number back. Okay. So after several experiments and investigations, finally we have come up with the principle or a rule or a theory. Okay, so this is how all these mathematical principles and the axioms and the propositions and all these postulations, that's how these things came up. From somebody's thinking, if they haven't thought of it, this wouldn't happen, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
so their thinking have actually given us some more idea, and then it has helped us to do a lot of new things. Like if Newton have not lied down under the apple tree, no, he wouldn't have discovered gravity, isn't it? Okay, so
Then somebody else will discover it.
yeah, some students will tell, I hope that Newton never slept under the tree. Now we have to learn about the three laws of Newton's and his findings. Yeah, but somebody else will find about it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so can you, now have you understood how the mathematicians work in order to come up to a theory and to how they finally get this done, proved? Now that is how they are proving it. Okay, they can say that this is true because every time that result will come, isn't it? Every time they do it, that is how it's going to come. But if it is not going to come, then that means there's a problem with it. It's not true in all conditions. Okay. So a specific name will be given to the things which works with it and which doesn't work with it. If all the things, if all the numbers, when you square it, are able to, when you square root it, if you are able to get it back, then for those terms, a specific name will be given. Okay, so that is how all these different terms have existed, how they came, how they appeared in the field of mathematics. Now, where were we?
Scope
Yeah.
of mathematics. Number 2.
It's already finished.
It's already
Number
time.
3.
I think this is the wrong
Now
one.
3. Yeah.
This is the wrong one. The,
Assessment.
this
This
is
is
the
wrong.
Unit 1.
Scope of mathematics.
Here is whiteboard.
Yes.
I can share the whiteboard now. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now better.
Okay,
Yeah.
finally. Just,
Try to write something.
yeah, it was, I tried to text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally found.
Yes.
Okay, for the next day, we have achieved something, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay, so the last, what were the objectives? To go from here to there. We were talking about the objectives. Are you able to see the slide?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
little bit can make a little bit font size big.
Okay,
What
then
is the
And
size?
the last objective is to have a thoughtful insight into the history of mathematics with an emphasis on business and academic mathematics. Okay, so now this says history of mathematics will be a very, very, very big field of studies, right? There will be a history for each and every topic. That there are so many different fields in mathematics as well, like in science, physics, chemistry, biology, and all these different types of studies, fields are there, right? Similarly, in mathematics also, geometry, algebra, trigonometry, a number of different fields are there, isn't it? So we are focusing on the business related mathematics, okay? So it's good to find out the history of mathematics related to business and academic mathematics. Okay, so these are the 4 objectives of our unit 1. Understood? So in the next lesson, we will be looking into this in detail and try to see whether we have achieved these objectives. And you should do your part as well. Try to do a little bit of homework, search the words, and go through the history sections too and find some information about it. Okay, and then increase the mathematical logic and the perspective that you have had about mathematics. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, what are the things that you have learned tonight? At least tell me what are the new things that you should be doing starting
The
from
history of
tonight.
mathematics.
You should read more about them, right?
Yeah.
Then?
Know the meaning of the words.
Okay.
The scope of mathematics also.
Scope of mathematics also.
Yeah, some new words.
Yes, or some new terms, right? Mathematical
Building blocks.
New, the number of terms, square numbers.
History of mathematics.
Refreshing some old memories.
Just brushed up all the dust, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Flat.
Some hidden file is open.
Finally, you found where it was stored.
Yeah, nth term, though.
Which was
Nth term.
Nth term folder.
where was it, in the long-term memory or short-term memory? I think it was in the long term. That's why it was
Long
like that.
term.
Yes. Okay. So what are the things that you should be doing from tonight onwards in order to manage your time?
To-do list.
Yes, of course. Make a to-do list. At least write on the mirror
Schedule.
three things that you should be doing tomorrow. Okay. Or you have your phone, but most of the time you don't look at it. Put it in the reminder then. Okay. Let it remind you.
Make checklist.
Yes. Yes, you have to make the timetable, right?
Yeah.
History.
Summarize those.
Mathematical history.
Wednesday, I will ask to show where the timetables that you have made. Okay, so each one have to make a timetable. Write down the due dates for your assignments, the work schedule, the schedule, already scheduled works. So under those dates, you could do it. You can even use the calendar that you have. Okay, if it is difficult for you.
We'll try.
Means when we will get the assignments, then only we will know the make a timetable.
No, it's already given the dates. Dates are the important things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assignment is not important. Date is important.
Date is important.
Yeah.
To make the
That's a good reminder.
timetable. To make the timetable, date is important, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we are working the
Right.
timetable. We have to plan already.
You have planned. Okay, so let's see how effective your table is. The procedure that you are following is, right?
We are
Okay.
joining the course, then we will be give the time for the studies.
Of
We are
course.
giving the time for the class.
Of course, all of you must say at least one sentence, or give an
All class.
idea. Okay, within these 4 hours in every class, each one should say something. Is it clear?
How do we know?
Clear.
Yes.
Who take part?
The one who is
Yes,
talking
clear.
will know, isn't it? And it is recording, so I can even check it who and who have not opened the mouth. Okay, so by the end of the lesson, you should be at least ask a question or give an answer. Okay, so each one's participation is very important, because I am not coming here to teach a group of students. I am coming here to teach all of you, right? So all of your
And
participation
don't have
is
any question.
important. If you don't have any question, then give some ideas. And at least when I ask a question, you can answer it, isn't it? Even if you don't know it, you can say you don't know the answer. At
Okay,
least.
it will be fine.
Miss, I have a suggestion.
Yes. Yes, very good. Give me it. Why don't you say it?
When you are teaching, I think all of us should put our mics on mute. because it's difficult to hear you
Yeah,
when
that's what I
others are
said. They are talking, right?
talking or if there is background.
Yeah, even today I
Classroom
reminded
roles.
that. Yes, to the classroom rules I added that. When I am explaining the lesson, mics should be off. And if you have a question, you will be raising your hand, isn't it?
Raising your hand.
Yes. Okay, otherwise that is very true. It's going to be a bit difficult. It's not a bit, it's going to be very difficult. Okay, because the attention will be deviated. Distractions are not allowed in the classroom, right? Okay. And if you are unable to, what is it? Let's say,
Miss, actually, tonight,
yes,
what I understood is why should I study mathematics? That's what I
yeah.
understood most.
That's the reason why most of the students hate mathematics, because they don't know the purpose of studying it, right? Just for the sake of doing it, most of the time we do it. Okay,
Yes, I
so
understood. I can use the for whole life. I can use the mathematics.
of course, and you have number of job opportunities related to it. Okay, so it is an important part.
everywhere.
Yep.
It would be a stepping stone for career even.
There are a number of careers related to it, isn't it?
For
So,
business managers and everyone.
yes, of course. Okay, now
The profit and loss.
related to the percentage, right? Percentage topic. What was
Account.
I saying? Yeah, if your mics are not working, for example, okay, let's say something went wrong with your mic, then you can even use the chat part, right, to ask the question or to let me know what's going on. Otherwise, I might think you are
Yeah,
not.
I gave the introduction 2 times today.
Very good.
You get bonus next night, next class.
No, next time you won't get, because others also should get a chance, right? It should be equal to everyone. Okay, so from next class, let's hope that we will be able to follow the rules and be more, what could I say, eager to study mathematics, okay? You must be keen and eager to study mathematics now. Not just study it to get a pass from the module. Okay?
So we must have 2 goals. One goal is to keen and eager, and another one is to pass the module.
No, if you are eager and keen, automatically it will come. Okay? You are
Okay, that is the
automatically
logic.
driven to that goal.
That is the logic.
Yeah, that's the logic behind
We
it.
will try our best.
That should be
Thank
that's
you,
the
Miss.
spirit. Yep. Good night, all of you.
Yes. Good night, Miss.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night.
Have a
Good night.
safe night.
Good night. Good night.